My dear panelists, we are live right now on Facebook. This is Falguni, and you are watching Candidate Cicerone Live, the only talk show that talks about issues, challenges, and trends that are in the fashion and lifestyle industry in Gujarat. This pandemic has been really, really difficult for most businesses, especially fashion and lifestyle businesses, which were considered non-essential, and it's been 150 days since the lockdown started, approximately 45 days since the time the lockdown has been lifted, and we are still sensing the pulse of what is happening in this business. The exhibitions that used to happen earlier were quite a lot, whether it was Ahmedabad, Baroda, or Surat. And these exhibitions were actually the first stepping point for small business owners and designers to start their careers. And to discuss this entire issue, what is happening to these designers, what are the gallery owners doing, what are the exhibitors doing in this time, we have with us fantastic powerhouse panel today. And we are so proud to bring you three panelists from three different cities. So I'd like to introduce our first panelist, Anuradha Gupta, founder Trisha Gallery from Baroda. Anuradha is a commerce graduate with a keen eye for aesthetics and a sharp business acumen. She has been in the gallery business for last 25 years, and her gallery, Trisha Gallery, is the go-to gallery in Baroda. Anybody who wants to exhibit goes back to Trisha. This I speak as a Barodian. I have an experience of it. So welcome Trisha to the show. Sorry, Anuradha.
Thank you, Falguni. Thank you so much.
Second panelist on the show is another powerhouse lady of Ahmedabad, Parav Shah, who's the founder of Beyond Gallery, which is also beyondgallery.com. And she's the director of Bonobos Marketing Private Limited. She started Beyond Gallery in the year 2006 and has made that one spot which people go back to check in Keshav Bagh, when they want to check which are the new designs that are there in the market, they go back to Beyond Gallery. She's a commerce graduate with a background in advertising and communication also, and has been running this gallery successfully since last 15 years. Welcome to the show, Parav.
Thank you.
And the last panelist, who's the youngest team member on the panel right now with us, is Achal Saraf, who's the co-founder of the Design Avenue. She is a product designer and a CA by qualification. And she, along with her partner Rahul Devnani, founded the Design Avenue back in 2017, after they also initiated Shehnai exhibition. That was their first property. And these are the guys who are trying to change the landscape of exhibition industry by bringing in experiential treatment to the entire design exhibitions. So we will be getting some millennial perspective from Achal, straight from Surat. So welcome to the show, Achal. I can't hear you, Achal. Is your voice okay? Can I?
Glad to be here.
Lovely, lovely.
Talking to you.
Awesome. So let us begin with the questions. And this questions are direct.
Slowly, when it started sinking that, businesses are going to be shut for a long time, we had a lot of cancellations coming in. And once we opened up on the 20th of May, we realized that it is like starting back from zero. You literally had to push to revive your business. We've not really had exhibitions. We've just done 3 or 4 exhibitions till now, after 20th of May. But all these 4 did very well. One just ended today. Today's their last day. And they did well. She was very happy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a little push that we will have to give, and it will come back.
How about you, Parav?
Yeah, so I guess we kind of had to accept it, right? Like the rest of the businesses, we were affected too. Like restaurants or automobile or food industry. We were all part of the economy, and yeah, we were all in the soup because of this little milligram of a virus. We are all kind of affected by it. Unlike Baroda, there aren't really any exhibitions happening in Ahmedabad. I guess maybe it's a bigger city, maybe been affected more. So I guess people are still scared about going out or going to crowded places. So yeah, and as it is, I feel retail was in a tough spot because when demonetization happened and GST happened, right? So spending power had affected. But yeah, I do hope that once we are done and over with this pandemic, I think luxury retail is one thing which will kind of bounce back the fastest.
Yeah.
That's just that's just a feeling that I have, because the buying power of this clientele is not really affected by a few months of lockdown. I'm saying few months. I hope it does not get prolonged longer. Uh, yeah, I'm being optimistic, and also that. But we need to see whether emotionally people are up to buying, right? There aren't occasions to really dress up and go out anymore right now, right? So emotionally how people will react even after things open up, I think that needs to be seen. That needs to be seen. Yeah.
Achal, how about you?
For us, I guess, obviously, we had a show lined up on the March 22nd and 23rd. So that is when the lockdown started. So we were all set for our exhibition to happen. The designers were ready. Our plan was ready. So it was very difficult, first of all, to cancel that show. It was heartbreaking for us. But again, like I think both of them mentioned, that we have to get into this situation. We have to take it optimistically. So that is what we are doing now. We are very much hoping that we will do a show this December if situations are well. And we will definitely not leave any nook or corner to, from our side to prepare. So I think this is the situation where we have to get forward, and instead of, sitting there disheartened, we just have to work for the future. Like, we are just planning that how will we do our next show. We are coming up with better plans that probably we didn't get the time to think upon it. We are getting a lot of time, a lot of reviews from our designers. So we are just taking this time to, increase our knowledge about our exhibitors, and also to better ourselves in a manner that we'll come up with a bigger show now. I agree to Parav's point that luxury line is something that probably for a while it will be affected, but gradually we all are hoping that that line is something that gradually it will pick up. It is not something that will be a long-term affair that it will be affected. So just hoping for the best, and we are definitely hoping to do our show again in December.
Interesting.
So, China is a wrong example to give, Falguni, but when they opened Hermes, they had the highest one-day sale ever in history, right?
It was honestly a breather to kind of have that sentiment, because you felt like, no, it's not so bad and things will bounce back. So it definitely gives hope, which kind of brings me to the hope and the strategy. How Achal mentioned that it gave them time to revisit their strategy. Tell me, all three of you, because if we are optimistic, things will improve very fast. But let's assume that things don't improve really fast. Then, as a retail space for both of you, Trisha, and for Beyond is already digital. How do you envision your businesses? How do you steer it?
So what we have done is, at present, just to attract exhibitors to come in, we've obviously reduced the rent also, but I think this is definitely the new norm. This corona is not going soon. Earlier we used to say, chalo, August, September, I don't see it going. I really don't see it going. We have to accept this situation, and we have to find out ways where we attract more people to come. Safety, I think everyone is taking care of themselves, whether it's the exhibitor or whether it's the customer. Correct. So, and I think you also have to give them a lot of facilities. do all of that and people are okay to shop. There is one section who are okay with the online thing, who can shop online. But there's one section, one age group, or even the younger people. There are a lot many who have to come see the fabric, feel the fabric, probably try the garment. And that is a big percentage. So the physical buying will happen.
Will happen.
It will happen. And if malls have opened up and if shops have opened up in the malls, means it's time for us to open up and, try getting people together to come and exhibit.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with Anuradha in that way. I like physically going and buying and trying, that indulgence, that experience, that touch and feel, especially in this kind of retail one can't replace. But to answer your question, Falguni, we are just trying to sail through this period, right? I mean, as a whole humanity, we are trying, and so are we all trying. But we're doing our bit to help our designers and exhibitors, so we recently started on social media, giving all our exhibitors visibility on our Instagram, profile. Tell our followers to go and check out their stuff. So basically, staying in touch with our clientele, be it our exhibitors or our customers at the gallery, giving them stories, knowledge, something that interests them. I guess that's the call that I've taken right now.
Right.
But yeah, we'll probably see it as it comes.
What about you, Achal?
I think I agree with Parav in some manner that now, because that physical touch and feel is going, so we can just try to connect the customers to the designers. That is all that we can do. Like TD as a platform has a good customer base, so now what we are trying is to promote on exhibitors to promote online on our platform, and we are doing workshops to just keep our audiences engaged, like in any manner, because everyone is wanting to learn something, so why not give them a platform through what we can. And I think online shopping is a part of the fashion industry. Also, it is very important to market, like either or you make sales. Even if you just make a presence online, that is good enough, because if I have a customer to buy something, they have to really think about it, that what do we buy. Even before, when it was physical buying, customers were very well aware through online marketing that what the situation is, what kind of designs are running. That is all because of digital platform. So I think that is a very good thing. And now that people have started to adapt that thing, that is all the more helpful for the businesses also in some manner, because most of the businesses, I think initially who were hesitant to go online, now they are, because that is the only resort for them now to make sales or to promote their brand.
It seems like digital is the only way, because that's what everybody is talking about, that at least to make your presence felt, brands need to go digital. But let me throw one more thought to this, that typically on an Instagram on daily basis, there are more than 1 billion images which are uploaded, more than 1 billion. Now think about it, when a brand is still adding up their own site, it is just आपको खुशी मिल रही है कि आप Instagram पे हो, for sure. Is it being discovered or not? Because for a consumer, it is cacophony. Right now, the digital space is like so cluttered, so cluttered. So how will a brand like yours make a way for itself in digital?
So if you ask me, you can, yeah, Parul, because she already has a online thing.
So like I said earlier, can you hear me, Falguni, now? Yeah. Like I said earlier also, we do have an e-commerce platform, and we have a whole lot of exhibitors coming on it. But as far as luxury retail is concerned, I don't think you can take the physical out of it, right? An e-commerce website is as of now not going to be the final answer for any brand, right? In the sense, that you can look at it as window shopping. An e-commerce website could be you could look at it as window shopping. You can look at it as something that you know the brand and you're comfortable buying it over and over again from the same brand. Yeah, e-commerce is the way to go. So I believe being physical and digital, communicating with clients online, because that's where they are right now, right? Like all of us spend so much more time on digital than we ever have. But like you talked about the clutter, especially after this COVID situation, I feel brands will have to stand out in a way that people, I think, are now looking for sustainable luxury, something greener. Is the brand environmentally conscious? Maybe they might have to reduce to make the pricing more accessible. You know, that over the top pricing might not work after the COVID situation, right? So digital is definitely necessary. I think e-commerce is also definitely necessary. That's the top of the mind recall. It gives a chance for a customer to buy online also, right? If you see most of the brands, they are online and a physical presence. So as of now, I'm not saying brick and mortar is dead, or I would not say that, you know, being on digital is the only thing. I think we need a good mix of both. We need a good mix of both.
How about you, Anuradha, with Trisha?
So for us, I feel we've been talking to a lot of our exhibitors, and I've been realizing that for these smaller brands or smaller designers, it's very difficult to go digital.
Correct.
You know, even if we give them a platform, then also if at all, I mean, for a jewelry person, it would be easier. But for a garment person who's already getting it from someone and then they are exhibiting, it's very difficult. For a designer, a small time designer, or anyone, you know, who has a boutique probably in Baroda or Ahmedabad or Surat and comes and exhibits, for them also, they don't have the same piece for a longer time. So even if we give them that platform, it's very difficult uh, to give that kind of customer service that we give physically. Yeah, everyone wants to create their presence because they feel that for next 2 years, it's very important to be there digitally. But I really don't know how much sales is one generating out of it, because unless and until you have a very large presence and a very large follower, you know, number following you, it's very difficult. We've been doing survey also on it, and we've realized it's yeah, you want to be there digitally for your presence, but we are more known as retail spaces. Like what me and Paro do is we are giving a retail space. I'm giving a space to someone who is already not known to the buyer. So when they come to us, they know that they'll be getting new buyers, new customers.
Right.
Now, digitally, that is going to be very difficult for us to do that.
Right.
From both ends, from the exhibitor end and from the customer end.
Or would you be considering that is my question.
We've been considering it, and that's why I've been doing a lot of survey on it. That's why, you know, probably we are still in a very confused state as to how to take it further.
Dilemma, because as a marketer, I always feel that yes, one should be there on digital platform, and yes, it will improve the brand recall. Because as a consumer, if I'm going to think, listen, I check 20 sites through the day, but how many purchases do I make at the end of it? You know, I keep checking. I love the brand and I'll kind of note it, but जब shopping करना होगा तभी मैं करूँगी, और तब मैंने कौन सी site से किया, that is a question mark. You know, where will I buy from? So if everybody is going to open their digital portals, again, it's a clamoring of space, right? Clamoring for the attention from the consumer. What about you, Achal?
I feel for a brand to stand out, like you said, that online there is a clutter of designers and designs altogether. Like if I want to buy something, I have n number of options to choose from. So from now, I think from a designer perspective, like you should actually have that thing to connect to your customer. Example, if I have a pricing of a certain category, I should actually try and target to that category instead of targeting to a mass online public. Like we have ways to do that through online marketing, and I think every designer now has to learn that and follow that. Like example, if you like Parav said, that if you have a luxury line product, it is actually difficult to market it online. You can sell, like make a sale online. You just have to make your presence. That is the only thing that you can do in such times. Otherwise, you have like a casual garment, like a normal wear or a daily wear or a semi-casual sort of a thing. That thing you can make it possible. Like you can make a sale, but you have to connect to your customer in the right manner.
So you're saying that marketing has to be done, but has to be done very targeted, for which a brand also needs to be aware of where
Right.
you want to position yourself.
Right. I think that is the way to happen, because digital, like if there is digital marketing, there has been digital marketing from a very long time, but you really have to target your audience. You have to know how to target your audience, that brand's audience.
The brand needs to know how to tell their story.
Yeah.
I think that's
That's important. Very interesting you mentioned that, because that's my another question before I move on to all your individual journeys, because I think that is something which is very fascinating for me. But before that, let me ask you this question, because Parag, you have an online gallery already. Achal, you have been a millennial kid who has already kind of explored a lot of digital media,
Right.
for yourself. Tell me, how is the awareness among these brands or designers who are coming up now, and their understanding of what does marketing and storytelling does to their brand? Because I will tell you my experience and why I'm putting this question. Most of the brands that we have met across through Cicerone are always confused about marketing. When you say Facebook page, they come back saying, Mera to Facebook page hai. I have a Facebook page. And you're saying, no, but I'm telling, do you have a community outreach? And they don't understand. So the idea about native media, which is your own property, and taking help of influencers or media houses through earned or paid media, do brands understand any of this in your experience?
You want me to go? Who's
Yeah, Parav, go ahead.
So yeah, Falguni, awareness is there for sure, right? People know marketing, people know influencers, people know collaboration. But like you said, there is one thing, that there is not always an apparent monetary gain seen. Say I'm collaborating with an influencer, I'm spending an X amount, I'm spending a Y amount on ads on Facebook, or trying to do that. So that is one big reason why, maybe they're dissuaded to actually get into a collaboration. And sometimes it's also a lack of ability to actually do it. Maybe sometimes it's lack of funds, lack of ability. So these are all dissuading factors, I feel. But awareness is there. Yes, absolutely.
I think awareness is there.
Even I think so, that awareness, like designer these days, whoever you pick, like at least the designer circle I have, I think everyone knows that online presence and digital presence is sort of need for the age, sort of a thing that everyone has to have that. Because if I really want to buy something, I just want to go have a look at the brand, that what sort of clothes do they have. Example, like even if I want to go physically buy that product, but first I will have a look, that I don't want to waste my time if I really don't like their collection, the sort of collection they have, it's not my taste, so I wouldn't want to waste my time to even bother to go there these days. So I think designers are definitely aware, but I think the sort of things that you are saying, that people say that, "Ha, mera bhi page hai, so I don't want your page," and people don't understand that. But I think there is a few percentage of people, or like age group of old designers, like probably the age of 40, 50. They had their boutiques earlier, and now they are just running with their set clientele. So it is difficult from there to for them to understand this digital era and this Facebook and Instagram and stuff. But I think that will pass away in a given period. Like it is already passing away and it will pass away gradually. Everyone knows like there has to be a marketing person who's taking care of your page and everything. Like I think everyone now, every brand has to have that now. It is required.
Sure. What about you, Anuradha? What do you think about this?
So I feel digital presence is important. Definitely, that is what everyone, all brands have learned. But as far as influencers are concerned, now the small time designers are, now they want to explore them. Post March, I would say, they want to explore them. Till then, for them, it was the social media, just probably Facebook was just a post on Facebook was their thing. But now they know that since newspaper, the print advertisement is not going to be there, they want to engage, influencers. There are a lot of promoters, they want to explore different ways of marketing any event or their product. I definitely feel so.
Absolutely. So in your...
And that's good news for Cicerone.
Of course. It is good news for us because I always feel that making product is just one part of it. When a designer makes a product, is just one part of it. How are they forgetting the pertinent part that you have to reach out to people? Where is your story? Who's listening to your story? Who's watching your product? So I think that is a lack, and that I think happens because of design education. Most of the design educational institutes do not even give them the wherewithal to market the product, give them a proper communication strategy. Probably there are only few colleges right now in India who are giving fashion communication as a course also. And people are picking that up as a course. So, Anuradha, we begin with you. Now the journey, because you are the one who has seen 25 years of exhibitions. Please enlighten us, what has changed in this 25 years from when you started till now?
So when I started, I used to do exhibitions wherever I get an empty space. Probably my cousin's empty shop, if he was into construction. So if he has an empty shop somewhere, wherever I would get a space, I would do an exhibition. Then I got this idea that I need a permanent space. It was more of need based just to do my exhibitions because I coordinate for a lot of brands. And that's when I converted my dad's property into a gallery. So we started with one gallery, then we did two, and then obviously kept on multiplying it. And
how have consumers, the exhibitors changed in these years from your first days of exhibition till now at Trisha?
It's become very competitive. If you really ask me, there are a lot of women who get a lot of different things, collect different things from different people, come and sell. There are a lot of small time young designers, and there is this very young arty crowd also who come up with a lot of different type of quirky products, and all get different audiences. Whether you relate to the product or not, I've seen some amazing talent. And the customers, I feel, sometimes I feel I'm very judgmental whether they, whether this product will do well or not, but it really sells, really. Probably after a certain maturity, you feel, no, there's no use of this thing. But no, everything sells. It has to be, the mass basically welcomes new talent. That's what I've learned.
Yeah.
Anything that's fresh and new, you will get a good response. And now there are so many different mediums to shop, whether it's a mall or whether it's online or whether these group exhibitions or individual galleries. I feel everyone treats their own event in such a different way, and they make it very welcoming for the customer. And the customer loves that.
True that. I think experiences is what sells right now.
Yes, yes.
Of course,
Experiential shopping.
it is very important because if it is a copycat model, then probably thoda chal jata hai, but over a period of time it won't. And experience definitely.
Yeah, something, some little thing. And believe me, the commercial brands don't come up with, there are like a lot of commercial brands who just sell through exhibitions, you know, they'll do an exhibition in Ahmedabad, then they'll come to Baroda, then they'll go to Surat again, you know, it's around. So for them to come up with something is very difficult, but the individual designers, they really come up with good idea. Even the display, you, they make it so interesting, really make it very interesting.
I couldn't agree more to you, Anuradha. This is so true. You're speaking and as if you're speaking my mind and the way I feel. It is actually so true.
But it's so amazing. This, I mean, your generation, Achal, and obviously younger than that, but they really work so hard to detailing, you know, little things. And now customer does not mind paying that extra 1 rupee or 5 rupee for that little extra thing.
True that.
Everyone has started liking that better.
Detailing, small detailing in your brand and telling your story, like Falguni said.
Yes, yes. You know how you put your story. Definitely what Parav said was. So
How about the Baroda market? How has it evolved in last 20 years?
unbelievable, unbelievable.
In what
Baroda was always very price conscious. If you ask me, very price conscious, because definitely we have, it's a smaller city. We have more of working class people, but it has completely changed, I would say, and at a very steady and stagnant rate, you know. No one will ask you for discounts. No one will stand at the counter, "Nahi, ye kar do, wo kar do, do this, do that." Nothing. Very easy, very nice clientele.
yeah.
Well, I must give that to the city. Definitely, yes.
That I know of Baroda because nobody asks discounts over there. Like generally
Nobody,
never
nobody.
asks discount, which we have a different experience here in Ahmedabad, Parav.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's a different ball game altogether. So Parav, over to you. Please tell me how has your experience been in last 15 years as a gallery owner and as the market Ahmedabad has evolved?
Absolutely. Okay. So, like I said, more than 15 years to this gallery. And when we started, we were like, I don't know, kind of the pioneers to have a beautiful gallery space, you know, where people could really come and display their stuff. And yeah, it was it was real. It has been a great journey. And like how Anuradha said, the competition has really gone up. But it's all good. It's all good for Ahmedabad. It's all good for the market, and I think there is space for everybody, right?
Yeah.
Like there is space for all designers. There is space for all businesses, and yeah, there have been few exhibitors who have been with us from day one and right till today. They're still extremely loyal to us, and we are very thankful to them. And yeah, but over the years, how exhibitions have changed. Of course, Ahmedabad had been extremely price conscious. It is price conscious in the sense that, oh, you will still see people asking for discounts and all of that, but people have started spending much more.
Yeah.
Much. So the luxury, high-end luxury exhibitions that never happened in Ahmedabad before, I see a lot of them happening lately, where
Yours were a sea change in Ahmedabad.
yeah, absolutely. There's a huge change that way, and I guess we've got these millennials to thank for that. Yeah, and also product wise, like she said, you know, so much better, nicer, well designed things. You know, these this NIFT, NID graduates and all these design school people, they've come out with these amazing things. And yeah, sometimes you feel कि भाई ये बिकेगा क्या होगा इस लड़के का या exhibition करेगा. I'm calling up my manager and asking her कि भाई कई sale थયું ने, please tell me that. And yeah, I mean, but they sell and they all do well. So that's been a change, and I think it's all a positive change. I think it's all a positive change. Yeah.
Market is growing, I feel. Both the cities, that's what the understanding is, that the market has grown quite a lot.
Yeah.
Achal, tell me about Surat. How's Surat been reacting since the time you started? Your younger experience, probably as a buyer and now as a organizer of an event, how has it changed?
So I would agree that initially, like Surat has always been a very good market. Like people here don't mind spending. They were actually initially they used to go out and spend, and now I would say because so many designers are here in Surat, in our platform, in other platforms also, like galleries here in Surat as well. So now I think they have more exposure and they can buy here itself. Like in Surat, we have never faced such problem that they will, leave a garment for probably the price or something of that sort. Always people will try, कि अच्छा देख लो best price क्या होएगा. But then if the designer say that there is no discount, they wouldn't leave that product and say that अच्छा no, I'm not going to buy because this is too expensive. I have always seen that people buy here. That is not a problem. But here I guess, yeah.
I'm sure Anuradha and Parav are thinking, what are we doing actually? How is our market not like?
I feel in the past 15 years, the way Ahmedabad and Surat has developed, grown as cities is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Completely.
You wouldn't believe, like in our show, we put automobiles also. So Rahul generally takes care of that automobile. He is auto enthusiast, so he will always has that thing, everything. So he has that thing for cars, and he has always brought, like we have always had car brands with us. You wouldn't believe that we have had car sales from the show, like. So that sort of a market is unbelievable.
Amazing.
You don't know that when it works and what happens here. People are totally like, if they like it, they will buy it. So if they got to see a car here, and they actually have made sales from the exhibition of a car. So,
that's amazing. That's really interesting to know.
Lovely. So I have still more questions, but before I take anybody else's question, because we have questions on Facebook coming in, let me ask this one question which bothers me always, and I want to see your reactions to it. Plagiarism is one word which is used quite a lot, and people have started identifying, what is plagiarism in fashion and lifestyle businesses. पहले से copy होता था, सब एक दूसरे की कॉपी करते थे. कौन ओरिजिनल है आज पता ही नहीं है. We don't know who's original, we don't know who's not original, right? But have you, all three of you, ever had any experience where some designer would have fought over that you have displayed somebody else's collection which is very similar to their collection just because they are loyal customers? Have you ever faced any issues or any moral dilemmas around this issue?
No, never. Also, even if it has happened, I've not come into direct situation like that at all, because I'm not into production also.
Right.
But I feel it doesn't happen unless and until it's, a kind of a copy. It's absolute a first copy kind of a thing. Someone will come up to you. Otherwise, now it's become very common, very, very common that you find copies of whatever garment in whatever budget you want. And I think people are okay. You just go and pick up what suits your pocket. Very simple. And everyone wants everything.
True.
That's also there. That's a parallel fact,
Yeah, I agree. It's a power.
All brands, all designers, they use celebrities to, popularize themselves or market their new collection or anything. So everyone wants whatever the celebrity is wearing, or, whatever they see anywhere else. And you'll not believe, you go to even outskirts of your town and you'll see a, you know, villager wearing something probably which is the latest style.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah.
So you get it in the old city market also, whatever is in style, you'll get a copy. It will be a very cheap looking copy or whatever. I wouldn't say cheap, I would say everything has to be there available to suit everyone's pocket and budget.
No, my question specifically is around the similar budget, you know, similar budget, like let's say 15,000, 20,000 is the budget of the product, and two people are copying each other, you know, so that's
No,
the
I haven't come into any kind of
I,
situation.
as a what I try to do is always I like if I select my brands, if I know that someone is copying someone's design, I try not to take that brand who is copying. Like if I know the story, that is my take on which I personally don't support this, but I think this is eventually going to happen. Like if you're putting your designs online or if you want to make a sale, this is going to happen. But if that is in my eye, I would not prefer the copy design.
sure,
According to my curation, that is sort of what I vouch to.
sure. Para, what about you?
Yeah, so personally, it has never happened to me or at the gallery that some designer has come up to me and told me, "Oh, that designer copied it." No, that has never really happened. But saying that in India, Falguni, that I don't think there are such strict laws, or I'm not sure even. I mean, there must be laws, but I don't see how strictly people really follow it. Right? Copies are happening at all levels, from Sabyasachi to you will see an exact replica of Sabyasachi dress or any other high designer dress. Like, you will not be able to make out the difference between the two. So yes, I'm sure I've probably seen comments here and there on few designers pages that, oh, you've copied my design, or don't do that. But no, personally to me, it has never happened. I don't think in India we take, as people, maybe designers or artists, of course, I'm sure it would really, really hurt them. But
Right.
we as general people don't take copying so seriously as we should.
Right.
There is a very convenient word called inspiration, and everyone is doing that now. That
So well said, Achal.
and I did copy the design.
Yeah, very true.
So I think that is the way to get out of
Yeah.
any design.
All right, guys. So over to questions right now. Okay. Moving away. What's your take on that? There are brands right now who are moving away from offline marketing due to cost attached with it, especially luxury brands. What is your take on it? The luxury brands who are moving away from offline marketing. So I'm sure the events and media, is that what the
Yeah, I
question?
think what you must be trying to say is like giving ads in papers or those luxury magazines and all of that. Yeah, I agree. So lot of brands all over the world are moving away from print and going on to digital, saying that, especially after COVID, more and more people are spending time on digital, and it has become the go-to platform. So and it's the thing to do, I would say. Yeah.
So one person, Divya Senani, is asking, would you be offering any facility to your old regular exhibitors to work through these challenging times when online sales is difficult?
So physically we are, like the 4 exhibitions that we had at our gallery in past 15 days, we've been helping them with the promotions and, just to, I guess, to revive back the whole retail thing.
Right.
Because obviously in Ahmedabad and Surat, the numbers are much more higher. And Baroda is much lesser. But in last 2 days, all of a sudden the number of cases have gone up. So again, there will be a little, nip in the whole thing. But if you ask me, even I've planned a show the following week.
Right. Right.
We want to continue with it just so that people will slowly come out, I feel. And we are helping our exhibitors with a lot of promotions.
Then we at TD try to connect, like I said, our exhibitors, if they are wanting to promote, or any brand that is wanting to promote, we are trying to connect them to the right audience in whatever manner we can and whatever things that we have in mind. Like if a designer is giving a suggestion that probably do this for us, so we are happy to do it because we want our exhibitors also to do business.
Right. So
We are trying all that we can to connect them to their right customer.
I'm going to ask quickly 2 questions merged together, and we will keep it very fast. One is, what do you think about the role of the influencers in the current system? Number 1. And 2 is influencer marketing really helping? Who wants to go first? Para?
Yeah, okay. So I feel influencer marketing used to be a big thing before, I think a couple of years ago. But now there are so many influencers. Anybody calls themselves an influencer, right? To find the right influencer who can communicate exactly what your product is, to find that influencer will probably make sense then, right? So if I am making a beautiful traditional kind of sari and I'm giving it to an influencer who's showing off only her dresses, like, that's just a simplistic example. But find an influencer who is going to be able to carry off your story and your brand and your product.
Right.
That's most important.
Anshul, your take?
I think influencer, like the thing that is happening right now, that people are losing their hope towards influencers because everyone is an influencer right now. They probably buy their followers. So if there is a genuine blogger or an influencer, I think people still trust that because they get like they gain something out of it. But if it's a fake blogger, I think that is why people are losing hope. The only reason is that only because people nowadays, they have fake followers and no one knows that what is real and what is fake. So you have to have your research first before getting onto a paid promotion or getting in touch with an influencer. I think you have to have your research, your homework done, that acha, this influencer is actually, she has a good amount of following and your sort of crowd exactly. Like if she's promoting Western dresses, you cannot give her a sari to wear and she wouldn't have that sort of an audience only. So you really need to do your research, and I think this market is still going and it is fruitful. I don't think that this has it is not entirely fake. You have to choose your influencer right.
Sure. How about you, Anuradha?
I totally agree to Achal on this, that you have to choose the right influencer for what you want. And definitely influencers that will increase. They will get them the sales. They will definitely get them the footfall, but provided you choose the right influence. And it is important now that people have, in this lockdown, people have become lot digital. So now the influencers definitely will have a big role to play, I feel.
So I think it is careful screening, right? At the end of it, the careful screening of the influencer, brand positioning correctly, going digital is the way to go forward. And all 3 of you are ready to help all the exhibitors who are wanting to come. I think that's the crux of this entire conversation.
Yes.
And we see that the market is here to improve. Maybe not right away, but I think together, gradually over the period of time, we are sounding optimistic.
I think it definitely will. A lot of revenge buying will happen.
Yeah. Always optimistic, Falguni. Yeah.
It has been such a wonderful session. I'm so glad we could do this and getting insights from such powerhouses, Anuradha, Parav, Achal, getting very different insights from all 3 people. And yet we all were converging on a very similar note, all of us. So thank you so much for your time and being on Cicerone, and wish you super good luck for the thanks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for having us over.
Cicerone too.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.